Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Market Pulse. Today is, what is today? The 14th of May, something like that. Anyway, glad you're here. Hope you're doing awesome. We have a bit of a kind of a yellow market kind of shaping up here. Bottom line is we're just coming off of all-time highs, and we had some good results from the meeting in Beijing or wherever it was over in China, big country. And I think it's portending to be a pretty good year as far as the market goes. But that doesn't mean the market doesn't breathe in and breathe out, like we were just talking about in our mastermind call. So let's take a quick look at what we've got going on in the market, and you'll see what I mean. It's not that bad. It's just not awesome because we're turning yellow. And when it's yellow, you don't feel great. You don't feel bad. You just kind of, right? So this was last week here. We had four green lights, right? Market was kind of flat. You could see how it's been flat for a couple of weeks. Still green, which means still stocks are going up. But now it's starting to show a little bit of some cracking here when you go out a week. So here we are this week, and you can see there's really two greens and two reds. So that makes us yellow. You don't see this other green that's off the screen here, but we've got a yellow because now we're closing below this 21-day moving average. If we close there, if not, we still have a green. But like the way it's looking right now is even if it's not yellow, it's so close that who's counting, right? So that means, what does yellow mean? Well, it means like any yellow light, when you come up to the intersection, it means you punch the accelerator so you can go as fast as you can through it. Well, maybe it doesn't mean that. Like when I learned about defensive driving school, is that you stop if you can. And that's really what a yellow market is. Stop if you can, which means, hey, it's time to weed the garden, right? You've got a pot that has a certain amount of water in that can feed three tomato plants, right? But if you're trying to feed five tomato plants, weeds start to grow. You got to weed that garden, and maybe you have to weed out a couple of the weak tomato plants so the good ones can live. This is a good time to do that. The market's turning yellow. You find out which ones the weak ones are, and you take action in your portfolio. It's a good discipline to have. Anyway, we're yellow, and I'll show you in a second. Now, if you look here and you see the NASDAQ, you can see it made an all-time high yesterday. Gap down today on decent volume, like it's down 90, it's on 90% increase in average daily volume. Still, look at that check mark. It's way up by the highs, right? It's only a day off the all-time highs. So, but there's a gap right here on the chart at around, 25.5, 25.4, something like that. So you've got to watch out for, a market that wants to kind of check things out. Okay. Now, let's take a look. The S&P 500 looks exactly the same. The Dow Jones Industrials didn't make those all-time highs. It's coming down a little bit, not on huge volume, not a lot to worry about. You know, it's this one kind of mashed potatoes to me, not really up, not down. The New York Stock Exchange is telling a bit of a different story. It's a bigger candle down on high volume. This is something to pay attention to. Maybe we're at the beginning of a little bit of a correction where we go red, yellow for a while. I don't know. Maybe it's just a test to go down to the 50-day moving average. We have to watch it. But nonetheless, when our market timing gives us signals, we have to listen to them. Right now, the signal is we're yellow. That means don't go out rushing and buying stuff. Doesn't mean you need to sell your portfolio either, right? Yellow. The panic index, the CBOE volatility index, the VIX, it is up a little bit from where it was a couple of weeks ago, where it was down in the 15, 16, 17s. Not the 15s, but the 16, 17s. It's up a little bit, but nobody's really panicking yet. You don't see any of these high numbers here up in the 35s. Apple making an all-time high, breaking out is in that extended part of the range of the breakout. So I wouldn't chase Apple here, but if you've been watching this channel for any period of time, I've been telling you, look, keep an eye on Apple, and now it's up, 40 points from when I started talking about it. Like, well, I had a feeling. Not that feelings mean anything in the market. NVIDIA is on a breakout. It's actually almost near the profit-taking zone. It came down today on some volume, not incredible amount of volume, but it filled in that gap from that big move up yesterday on the news in China. Tesla is I've been talking about Tesla, like something's going on here in Tesla. I think Tesla's making a bit of a handle here, which would make our 450 the buy level. That's what I'm looking at. It's selling off on fairly light volume, so I don't think there's anything to worry about on Tesla. And we've had a nice increase since about 375 to 450. So bound to be some breathing and taking profits there. Strategy, same thing. A little bit low on the relative strength, but Bitcoin's going up. So MicroStrategy strategy is also trying to go up bit by bit. This stock actually was down at $104 back in February, and it's 100. It was 190, almost 200 the other day. So this puppy is up, 80, 90% for the year. Not today, but it was. And it just kind of crept up on us. Keep an eye on strategy. Keep an eye on it. It's now continuing to build lots of Bitcoin. I think they own 3.5% of all the Bitcoin. That's a big position, guys. AMD broke out a couple of weeks ago at the 267. It's in a hold period. You've got this gap that may want to get filled, but boy, there's a lot of relative strength in AMD on this AI play. Micron Technology, kind of the same thing. It is in the profit-taking area here. You could see a gap down today on slightly above average volume. Nothing to really worry about. These stocks that have all gone way up want to stay way up and make a little consolidation. And sometimes you'll see these little stair steps happen. And the AI story is pushing these stocks up until it isn't. Broadcom, same thing. It's in the consolidation breakout area today, right now, if that's a stock that you like. Amazon, same thing. Amazon wants to break out here. Tried the other day on earnings, went up a little bit, but hasn't been able to hold it. Alphabet is extended out of the buy zone, and it hit 400. Look at this. Isn't it amazing, guys? 400, almost to the penny. And these round numbers, these even numbers, these with the zeros in them, they tend to be support and resistance numbers. And it sure was with Google. So Google's dropping down on a little bit of volume, but boy, Google wants to go higher. Killed it on numbers last week or 2 weeks ago. So things are really going well over at Alphabet. Meta platforms, not so much. This is not a good looking chart. There are other better looking charts that I just showed you that you should be looking at. A stock that's below its 50 and its 200-day moving average is not something that you should be buying. It's something you may consider, to sell, but I don't even think that's what you should look at Meta for either. I just don't think they're winning the AI race, even though they're spending a huge amount of money in it. Microsoft, kind of the same thing. You wouldn't want to put your ant in this stock, right? Even though it's a wonderful stock and it's got a lot of growth, and Microsoft 365. In fact, their Azure product, which is like their AWS, their cloud, is growing like crazy. Microsoft is actually doing better than the chart looks, but I don't think they're going to win the AI game, although they do own some of OpenAI, which is that ChatGPT. But ChatGPT is in a little bit of trouble because they're getting sued by Elon Musk for going from a nonprofit to a profit, blah, blah, blah. A lot of politics there. But if they lose, they could lose $150 billion. That will affect Microsoft. And that might be why the stock is down. I don't really know. More sellers than buyers. Let's leave it at that. How about that? One more that I'll point out, and that is Circle. If you have been following what's going on in Washington, they passed the Clarity Act, or they're about to pass the Clarity Act. They're really close. Clarity Act actually opens up the crypto markets to banking, and a company like Circle is a stable coin. And if you don't know what a stable coin is, it basically is tied to the US Treasury market. Now, I don't think I'd like to have things tied to the Treasury market for very long because we just keep printing money, which means the Treasury market keeps losing money. But if it's tied to it, it makes crypto very liquid. And these companies are growing and doing incredibly well. Keep an eye on Circle. Remember that I said that. Maybe bookmark this. A lot of the stuff I've been saying, guys, has been coming true. Not that I'm always right. I want you to be right. I don't care if I'm right. I just try to alert you to things, right? So I'm alerting you to Circle right now. Probably not the best time to buy it, but it's close in a cup formation that you may want to put this on your watch list and take a look at it. Anyway, enough on me. I hope you're ready to have a fantastic weekend because that's what it's really all about. I am. I'm sitting here on an island in Greece, loving it and trading a bit. Today's not a good trading day because I'm in gold and GLD is down today. But that's okay. Not every day is a profitable day. I hope you have many profitable days ahead. A wonderful weekend. Thanks for joining me on the Market Pulse, and I'll see you next time. Take care.